Hello and welcome. We are going to be looking at the full moon in Capricorn coming in on June the 21st or 22nd, depending on where you are in the world. This comes in right after the summer solstice and Cancer season coming in also on the 20th. So we have a full moon right after this peak of summer season in the Northern Hemisphere. It is also going to welcome in Cancer season. Of course, Capricorn opposes Cancer. I first want to touch on some numerology before going into the benefits and the opportunities of this full moon. We have a universal month number 5 to be aware of. So remember that this month is a month of change. There can be new opportunities presented to you. You may even feel as though you want to multitask or work on many different things. When we move into Cancer, the energy naturally is going to slow down because we are returning to our heart. We are returning home into the comforts of our home and creating strong relationships and bonds with those who we care for the most. Also, Cancer season is going to welcome in an opportunity to connect with our intuition, to connect with our emotional self. Right. So the energy naturally is going to taper down, moving towards the later portion of June. And then in July, we're going to have a whole different energy, which I'll create a separate video on altogether. But this full moon in Capricorn is going to allow us to connect with the resistance that we may have towards perhaps love versus money and performance and career and position and prestige. Now, this almost ties into the Type A driveness video that I uploaded not too long ago about this passion and this perseverance and determination and this drive to get ahead, to succeed, to make money that we can find ourselves on very often. And we live in a very money-driven society. This is part of our society. This has been for a while, and there is a lot of stress and pressure created because of this desire, this need to make money. Now, I know we have to make money in order to live in this world currently, although things may change in the future. However, because of that pressure, we can find ourselves transfixed on the need to make money, the need to get ahead. Now, remember that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is more of the father archetype. The moon rules Cancer, and that is more of the mother archetype. So we have the dualities or the polarizations between these two archetypes or energies, if you will. Now, Cancer invites us to return to our heart, to return to what matters to us the most, the connection, the bond with others, being vulnerable, being open, creating meaningful relationships, and also nurturing our emotions, nurturing the senses within ourselves. Now, Capricorn opposes Cancer, yes. So Capricorn is the archetype of getting things done, of climbing the mountain. Capricorn has the archetype of the sea goat. It is very resilient. It climbs to the highest peaks. It is very productive, and it is very good at creating success. It can be money driven, it can be success driven, it can be very detail oriented in order to get to the goals and be very driven towards, again, success in the material world. Now, success could also be within the physical self, it can be within the home, it can be within, of course, yes, the material world, the financial and monetary means, if you will. I like to focus on the shadow traits of particular archetypes during the full moon so that we can identify maybe what is imbalanced within ourselves, what might be dominant or what might be in our unconscious self that could be almost creating an imbalance or overpowering certain other aspects that may need attention. For example, in this particular case, it's going to be the drive and the striving for money and power and prestige and getting ahead versus maybe connecting with our hearts and connecting with our vulnerable self and creating meaningful relationships. And this does tie back into that Type A driveness video that I created, where we can, in our modern society, fall into that Type A driveness, wanting to create results, wanting to create a certain level of status or wealth or success, prestige, power, and the like. When we become very transfixed and on the locomotive towards success and becoming almost or putting ourselves on a path towards a certain goal or a certain desire, which goals and desires are great. Achievements are wonderful. However, if we become very dominant in that way of functioning, we will most likely become imbalanced in other areas. And the imbalance in this case is with the heart. So with our driveness, with our pursuit towards financial gain and towards our goals, it is important to remember our heart and to remember to cultivate meaningful relationships and to be vulnerable and to be expressive and to take time to nourish ourselves, which can be very difficult in our modern society. It can be very difficult. We might always want to be on. And if we're not on, we may feel that we're not doing enough. So we could find ourselves in that hamster wheel of continually wanting to perform and wanting to create results and wanting to get ahead. And that is very much Capricorn's archetype. Saturn ruling Capricorn does provide structure, does provide resilience, does provide rules and regulations to create a certain kind of infrastructure or success or lifestyle, right? But sometimes also it's important to remember the feminine archetype of the nurturing, our intuition. If we become very dominant in one particular archetype, then there is, of course, as I mentioned, going to be a misalignment or almost overlooking a certain aspect of ourselves that needs attention. And having the connection with our heart and with our intuition is extremely valuable for supporting our success and for supporting our goals towards sustained success. And if we are on a path towards success and money and prestige and the like, it might not necessarily be sustainable if we are overlooking one of the most important aspects or the equally as important aspect within ourselves, and that is our heart. That is our love, that is our nurturing, that is the connection with the feminine archetype within. So we have a bit of the dualities, if you will, between the masculine and the feminine archetype within this particular full moon. During the full moon, it is an important time to connect with your deeper self, with your unconscious self. Reflect inward and take note if there are any imbalances with the pressure and the stress and the strain around performance, around work. Is there a dominating energy that may be a driving force for a certain lifestyle or a certain way of being that might be almost excluding the feminine aspect of self? Now, remember, we all have the feminine and the masculine archetypes within ourselves, and this full moon is going to really allow us to bring in balance with both. And while also understanding that it is great to have goals, it's great to create success and wealth and stability and security and everything that you desire, while also being mindful of the other aspect within yourself that does need attention. Some of the shadow aspects that you can look at under this particular full moon will be: how am I allowing societal expectations and ambitions to dictate my sense of worth? Have you been achieving a certain level of success to meet societal standards of any kind? Now, it can be societal standards, it could be cultural, it could be within your family, trying to get ahead and prove and build a career or success for some kind of approval or some kind of standards that exist in your external world. If we are achieving success and if we're wanting to fit in or we're wanting to create a certain level of accomplishment to be accepted or acknowledged, then we're not honoring necessarily our true self. We also may become very imbalanced in our functioning, thus also losing peace within ourselves, losing authenticity within ourselves, aligning with who we truly are and what are our greatest motivators and what really matters to us individually under the surface. What is important for us if we are not trying to please or trying to get ahead for other people? Another area for contemplation could be, what does success truly mean to me beyond external achievements? We can often measure success based on external achievements and almost base our identity and self-worth on those external achievements. But what about our internal achievements? What does success mean for you on an internal level? Does it mean maybe finding peace within yourself? Does it mean aligning with who you truly are? Does it mean to be happy and content? What are your key motivators and drivers within yourself that means success for you? We can easily compare to others. We can also want certain levels of achievement in our outer world, a home, maybe a car, maybe a certain type of lifestyle, which is great. And I always encourage that. But as long as we know where the main drivers are coming from, where we're not overlooking our internal self or our internal happiness or what makes us feel successful on a very deep level. If we are chasing success for external validation or external reasons, then we are continually going to be suppressing that which is buried within. And what has been suppressed will catch up eventually. During the full moon, you can contemplate on these prompts, for example, or even integrate your own. So maybe where is there an imbalance between the need and the drive, or is there fear and pressure and stress around money? And how can you let it go and welcome in more of Cancerian archetype, maybe of love and nurturing and connecting with your intuition and allowing for your intuition to guide you? These are wonderful dualities, wonderful archetypes to work with during this full moon. But also too, on the flip side, maybe where can more structure and discipline be incorporated with regard to Capricorn's ruling planet Saturn? Maybe there needs to be more discipline integrated into your routine. Maybe there needs to be a bit more commitment, drive, and determination towards your goals. And if that is the case, where is it lacking? Where is there fear and resistance that might be holding you back from moving forward? I also have a special gift for you. I'm going to be uploading a full moon ritual, which you can download. It is a by donation only. When it is ready, I will be posting the announcement on my community board and leaving a link here, which you can download for your practice. So during this full moon, take some time aside to contemplate on these areas within yourself. What do you want to release? What do you want to let go? What do you want to heal? What do you want to resolve? You can write it down. You can safely burn it. Also, of course, I always love running a salt bath to wash off the old energy. You can light a smudge as well to clear out your space. So I'm wishing you all the best during this full moon and beyond, and I will see you again very soon. Take care.